So here's my 2024 Toyota RAV4, and we're going to be installing the window deflectors, the AUTOCLOVER, I believe is the name brand, the ones that everybody puts on here to delete the little stainless steel trim piece right in here. And so the one thing about the AUTOCLOVER window deflector things is right here on this front, it leaves a little piece of stainless steel showing, and so it looks kind of crappy. And so, you know, you'll always see it right in here. Now if you don't have it right here, it'll be up there at the door. So, you know, I'm trying to do a better installation for you guys. If you don't want to see that little stainless steel piece, I recommend that you get you some sort of vinyl wrap, a black wrap. And this is from a company called XPEL. They're the ones who I got my window tint from. My friend is one of their dealers, and he's actually the best window tinter in the world. So shout out to New Vision Window Tinting here in Cleveland, Tennessee. He sent me this, and this is the XPEL Ultimate Plus, and this is just a sample sheet that they sent him. And anyways, we're going to be installing this little piece that we've cut out, and we're going to just put it right in there to get rid of and delete that little bit of trim that you're going to see there from the AUTOCLOVER window deflectors. So stay tuned. All right, so what we have here is just the little piece that we've cut of vinyl, and we're going to peel it apart. And then it's kind of windy out here, so I'm going to have my girlfriend stick this on there. Plus I got big fingers, and you can see that she's going to line it up there on the bottom, and then you're going to wrap it across the top. And there's a little bit of a spot there on top for it to wrap around on. Now guys, we just eyeballed the angle, and we got it as close as possible. And you can see right in there that, you know, it looks pretty good. Now we're gonna have to get in there and mash it down with a fingernail to get it leveled out there on the bottom, but that should be pretty easy. Or you can use a trim tool to move it and flatten it out. All right, so we just took that little piece of vinyl and put it there on the top, and then we wrapped it across the top so it wouldn't peel off, and so you couldn't see any trim. That silver trim, and you can see it's wrapped in there really good. It took us like 5 minutes to do it. We did have to make another little piece because we goofed it up and stuck it on there and had to pull it back off, but literally just take your time. And if you have to cut it with a razor blade, you know, it's easy to cut. Stuff's really thick, and it's kind of self-healing, so that's a good thing. You know, if something wants to scratch it, you know, kind of closes itself back up with that XPEL stuff. Now you guys at home might not, you know, want to spend that much money on it. He's just a window tinter that gave me a piece, and it was something he had that didn't have much of, so it was a little sample piece, so it just fit in here and worked great. So now I'm going to do the other side, and then once I put those two pieces on there, then we should be able to put those AUTOCLOVER window deflectors on, and you know, he shouldn't be able to see any kind of stainless trim or any of that. So I just got through putting the window deflectors on, and it turned out really good. Really good. And you can see where I put that self-healing XPEL vinyl right in there. You can't even tell it. The one thing that I have against the AUTOCLOVER is, you know, their quality control. I had to reach out to them because the first batch that I got were cracked, and so they sent me 2 more of the front ones. So you make sure that when you get them that they're not cracked. Also, I went to install the front one here, and not only was it cracked, but the back of the adhesive was not laid down. The double-sided adhesive was not laid down correctly, and it was all bunched up in certain areas. So if I'd have put it on here, then it wouldn't have laid down flat. But you can see that my gap is completely perfect here on this one on the passenger side, but then they're too short down here. Like we all know, the AUTOCLOVERs are about maybe an 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little more than that, too short. I wish they would tighten that up on their quality control. But then right in here where it angles back, if you don't put enough vinyl right there, then you're going to be able to see that where it angles back. So you're going to have to put a good 1/2 inch piece of vinyl across the front right there. And then you can see the gap is perfect, and then you follow it back to this one, and you see how wide this gap is versus the gap here. It's a lot narrower. In fact, this gap matches the same gap that's in the door, and the gap here in the back is just a little bit wider. You can see a little bit inside the door right there, and I tried to close that gap, but this little piece here in the back fits on the glass. Just know when you stick these on, this fits, part of this fits on the glass, part of it fits up on that stainless steel trim piece. So just note that, so you know you're not trying to put it somewhere where it's not supposed to be. But always start at the front one, so you know, continue that gap and make sure that it's perfect all the way to the back one, and I just think you'll have good results. Now here on the driver's side, it didn't go as good as I would have liked for it to go. Now you can see right here, you know, if I put the vinyl in there, and you can't see any kind of stainless trim, and you can see that my gaps are all nice. But then you get back here, and I don't know what AUTOCLOVER was thinking, but you know, they made this one a little too long, it looks like. So this one is off and coming back this way a little too much, but that's fine. So the next one, I put it in there, and you know, the gap turned out perfect. You can see back here the gap is the same as on the other side. You can see right in here it's mounted up against the glass. You can see any stainless, but here on the driver's one, I just noticed that it was just a tad longer than the passenger side. Trust me, I'm not just making that up. I mean, literally, their quality control is just not very good. AUTOCLOVER. I mean, literally, these things seem pretty flimsy, and I know it's, as a RAV4 owner, this is our only option for, you know, covering up that stainless trim. You know, this is the best that you can hope for. But anyways, I think it turned out good for what it is. And you know, if you're interested in some of the vinyl, I'll find some that's similar to the XPEL, and I'll put it in there, and you can use that from the Amazon link that I put in there. And then also, if you're interested in these AUTOCLOVER window deflectors, you know, they're about your only option to delete that stainless piece. But I gotta say, it looks pretty dang good, you know, once you get them on there. I mean, it really blacked that out. Plus, you know, I tinted the windows this week here in the front, and then I did a strip here in the front, and you know, I just think it made it look a lot better. And then here in the back, I deleted the badges off the back, so it doesn't say RAV4 anymore, and there's a little trim badge over there is gone, and then I put a blacked out tag on there. So all in all, I think it turned out pretty dang good. I've got a video on removing those badges. I'm gonna watch that, appreciate it, and just give you an overall look at it on this side. And you can see it turned out really good. Pretty pleased. Now, as far as, you know, putting these on, make sure you put them on and take your finger with a rag and just go over and wipe these things down. Press that glue in there, make sure they stick really well. Truthfully, I think the ones that you're really going to have to worry about is these little ones here on the back. You know, they just you know, don't seem like they're gonna stick as good as the front ones. You know, just take your time, use some vinyl, cover up that piece in the front. If you don't want to spend the money on vinyl, you could probably use some electrical tape, but once it gets hot, it might, you know, get sticky residue everywhere, and it's not going to be as good as that self-healing vinyl right there. So I gotta say, I'm very pleased with that XPEL stuff. I mean, literally, it looks absolutely perfect, and it's really thick. Anyways, I'll try to put a link to it if I can find a piece small enough for you guys. I don't want you to have to spend 30-40 bucks on a little piece of vinyl, but yeah, I think it looks pretty good. All right, till next time, guys. See ya.